Last season, I started a trend amongst me, myself, and I of doing something delicious for my podcast, something sugary, something sweet, something that would make everybody smack their lips. It was called Southern Sweet Tea, and I only did 2 episodes of it last season. This is season two's inaugural sweet tea. Um, Now this time is a little different. Unfortunately, our Lady of Perpetual Sorrows, Zane, um, she moved, and so I have found a new co-host for the time being. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, Jacob. My name is Cameron Petrie. You may recognize me from the first episode. Well, not the first episode, but the first episode. Jacob had a guest. The episode of Queerness and Christianity Coexisting. So here I am. Hi.
Oh my God, yes, everybody. It's Golden Boy Cameron Petrie back from the metaphorical dead. Yes,
Okay.
Cameron, oh my God, shut up. Cameron, you were my first guest. You were my first guest ever on this podcast.
I
Uh
was.
I owe so much of my listenership to you, Cameron, because so many people wanted to know, how queerness and Christianity coexisted. And y'all just know, if you're unfamiliar with the sweet tea like format, literally there is no one topic today. I'm not focusing on Cameron's quote unquote queer experiences. We're just
Please, let's
being
not.
we're just we're just here having a good time, spilling the tea and
hmm
talking about whatever we want because it's our show and not yours.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, Cameron, so reintroduce yourself. Like you said, you were my first guest. You were from episode 3, Queerness and Christianity Coexisting. For any first time listeners, can you tell them a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Well, me and Jacob know each other from college days. We went to theater school together at the University of Southern Mississippi. Southern Miss to the top. Woo woo.
Woo!
Um, and yeah, we've been good buds ever since. I am a theater actor, a singer, musician. I've kind of gotten my hands into a lot of things, and honestly, trying to culminate all of my experiences together in one point is kind of where I'm at right now. So that's that. But yeah, we've been acting buddies for a couple years, and not been able to do a lot since Miss Corona hit. But
No.
yeah, that's how we know each other. That's who I am.
I was gonna say, yeah, no, we have not been able to do. Also, y'all, I think that, and for those of you that don't know, Zane is a powerful witch, my old co-host. Um, and I think that Zane actually is responsible for what's going on in Mississippi right now. For those of you that don't know, Mississippi is experiencing an Arctic blast, central Mississippi specifically, where me and Cameron both live. And you know, everything is ice. It looks like the ice planet Hoth out here, which never happens in Mississippi. Literally, I don't know about you, Cameron, but last night it was like 18 degrees, and I think that is
hmm
the first time in my entire life that I've been in Mississippi and it was 18 degrees. I think that is the first time I've ever seen it get that cold outside.
I might have to agree with you. We've seen snow here before, but this is like solid ice, like
This is like
inches of
hard
ice.
freeze. Yeah, I was gonna say like
hmm
nobody can get out of the house. The whole reason that I say that
hmm
this is cursed is because I feel like when Zane found out that I was going to be using using is the proper word here, using Cameron
hmm
uh
Yes,
for
as a
this
replacement.
as a replacement. Yeah, it's like the rule of two in the Sith order. When I was going to be
Yes,
using Cameron
I'm taking over.
for my Sithy sweet tea, I was going to be doing it mostly because I can actually drive to Cameron's house because he doesn't live far away from where I live. And then literally now I might as well have done it with Zane because we have to use Zoom, but I committed to Cameron already. I had
I
already
feel so
told him
welcomed here, Jacob.
we're shaking things up. Cameron, you have to understand I'm running a business here, okay?
Okay,
Um
okay, I see.
um so yeah, no.
Well,
Y'all didn't
I
realize.
was gonna say, oh, sorry, I was gonna say, I figured it was just, Zane's warm heart leaving Mississippi that all this Arctic freeze, came because all that warmth was gone. But no, I see. I'm just the replacement. I see.
So when Zane hears this episode, you get major brownie points, and I'm immediately going on Zane's shit list. So there we go.
Exactly. Zane's like, I could care less.
Literally, so yeah, this is the kind of shenanigans and shit talk that we will be getting into today on Southern Sweet Tea because once again, we're just having fun. Let's talk about how you have changed since your episode in season 1.
Goodness. Well, that was about what, 6 months ago at this point?
Yes.
5 or 6. First of all, congrats on season 2.
Thank
So
you.
happy that you're back. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The short answer is a lot. We got a new president, so that's cool.
True.
But yeah, as far as day to day, nothing much has changed other than like my day to day headspace. You know what I mean? Like a lot of the anxieties that I had as far as going back to the episode, a lot of my walls and like defenses as far as it comes to like people of the church, because I know that was a big subject we talked about. I feel like going back and listening to myself 5-6 months ago, I feel like I had a lot of angst towards people in the church because I just felt like there was a lot of sense of unwelcomeness from the church, whether it was directed to like people outwardly or as we talked about like online and things. I could hear myself having a lot of like angst and defense against people of the church, and I still was trying to somehow still kind of say, hey, I'm a quote unquote Christian even though I'm gay, so here's my definition of it, now leave me alone, kind of thing. But at this point, a lot of that has kind of just gone down. I went to service Christmas. I'm that kind of person. When they talk about church, the people that come on Easter and Christmas.
Right.
Yeah, I've been that person the last couple of years. Anyway, I went for Christmas and I felt a strong sense of being welcome. I was trying to avoid any kind of eye contact with people I knew, and I was kind of just trying to stay in the background and just be there for my parents. But I got welcomed with like open arms and everything, and that was a really nice thing to experience. So a lot of my defensiveness when it comes to just like people in general,
Right.
you know what I mean? Because
Yeah, no, 100%. Now, I will say in the same scenario, Cameron, I would have immediately been like, oh, like these people are so welcoming. But in my brain, I would be like, they're being fake as fuck. I know this
oh
game.
sure,
I know this
mm-hmm.
game. I know exactly what they're doing. They're just trying to reel me right back in to
Mm-hmm.
do
Well,
to do the Lord's bidding.
for sure, I'm
Mhm.
always like questioning, what are you trying to get out of this, or what is your real intention behind what you say or do? I'm very much
Right.
that person. So for me, just kind of like being in the situation, being in that present moment, and kind of seeing how I reacted, seeing how
Yes.
people who I haven't seen in a long time reacted, that was an eye-opening experience for me. And just I don't know if we should bring him up now, but when our dear friend Wesley passed away a
Mm-hmm.
month or two ago,
Mm-hmm.
the impact that had on me emotionally and just like mentally, it really kind of it messed with my head a bit, to be quite honest, in good and bad ways, but ultimately I think in good ways, because he had such a strong spirit here on this planet that it really it tore me apart losing that spirit here, tangibly, but the inspiration that his spirit had impacted on me
Mm-hmm.
has really kind of inspired me to as cliche as it sounds, live in the present moment and live life to the fullest. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Yeah.
So in these 6 months between these two episodes, I've really have had a lot of shifts as far as my headspace. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But as far as like that day to day, no, I've just been sitting at the house watching
Well,
anime and playing PlayStation.
well, look, it's the life. That's the life that we thought we wanted to live before COVID hit, you know.
Mhm.
But
Right.
I was just gonna say, on the note of Wesley, it was literally like the day before I took you to lunch for your birthday and we had
Right.
a whole conversation about, you were another year older and you were kind of, coming to or just kind of at grips with mortality and the fact that we are
Mm,
losing people the older that we get. Um,
right.
and it just I don't know, it was so crazy. But also on the note of the church as it pertains to Wesley, I recently read the I guess the sermon or what have you that the guy at Wesley's funeral gave, like the speech that he gave, like I think he was like a youth minister or something.
Mm.
And it just filled me with such rage. It just filled me
Did
with
it?
such rage because honestly, like he did nothing. I mean, we all know how great Wesley was. We all
Hmm.
do. We all know how sweet Wesley was. We all know how talented he was. We all know all the great things about Wesley. And he took that and re he reverse engineered it to be all about Jesus.
Hmm.
All about Jesus. He took what was supposed to be about Wesley and I think he literally said that Jesus was Wesley's director and that Wesley was trying to act like Jesus, which first of all, fucking lame.
Hmm.
Get more creative. Second of all, they didn't even acknowledge Wesley's identity. They didn't.
Right.
Not in one way, shape, or form. Which, here's some tea, y'all, everybody out there who's listening. If I die before my time, I do not want anyone forcing Jesus into my funeral. Absolutely not. I don't want there to be any misconceptions about who I was when I was on this earth. I am a proud queer man. I am out here living my queerest life, and I don't want people to ever forget that, and I don't want it to be covered up by liturgy.
Mm.
So Cameron, you remember that if I happen to go before my time, okay? You have heard it now, okay?
I hear you, Jacob. I hear you. Statistically, I'll probably, rise up before you, but I'll keep that in mind.
Mm. Well,
I'll
if
make sure
you
not to bring up Jesus at it when I give your eulogy, if that
thank
ever
you.
happens. You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Thank you. But if you rise up, quote unquote, before I do, make sure you have a good insurance policy and that I am somewhere in there.
Got it.
Um,
Will do.
so I guess, my next question was, do you have any hot tea to share? But I feel like you don't.
I
Why
really don't.
I just feel like y'all, this always happens. Literally, I asked this question for I've had two so far, and this is my third. Every time, I don't know what it is. Maybe COVID has killed gays having tea, but like
For real.
y'all, there's no tea of import to share right now.
Mm.
So, yeah, like
We're just grooving along,
we
just
are. God.
taking a day at a time.
I know. It's like of all the
I'm
times that we needed hot tea.
mm, in this frigid weather for sure.
In this frigid weather, honey. En los
Mm-mm.
económica? No, uh
Oh my
um here's a dumb question. In
Okay.
your opinion, which establishment has the best sweet tea? Let's
Okay.
discuss.
Let's spill the tea on the sweet tea here. Okay,
Okay.
so I was one of those kids. I was very stuck in my way as a kid. It was chicken nuggets, French fries, and root beer. I did not experience sweet tea until I was probably 18, 19 years old. I was like, ooh, no, I don't want that. I want my root beer. that's it. You know what I mean? So I would say, hmm, if we're talking, it depends on like fast food sweet tea or like in room dining sweet
Any
tea.
establishment, I don't care. Let's
Hmm.
go for it. Let's jump in.
Okay, so McDonald's sweet tea actually goes hard. Um, I would probably take McDonald's sweet tea over McAllister's sweet tea, which I don't.
What?
McAllister's is also, yeah, right. McAllister's is very regional for those who do not live basically in like the Bible Belt. It's
True.
it's it's uh it's kind of a deli shop kind of place, and they're really known for their sweet tea. It's not bad, but honestly, I would take some McDonald's sweet tea before I took McAllister's. Yeah.
Here's the tea on both of those teas. Okay. McDonald's sweet tea is very sweet. It does slap. However, comma, you know it's fake. Like you know that they do not actually
Well,
like
duh.
I don't think they actually like I don't think they're using real tea leaves or I don't know what it is. It tastes like sweet tea flavored drink conglomerate, I guess is the best way to describe it. It will
Well,
when you're drunk, it will be the best thing. Like a nice cold glass of McDonald's sweet tea will absolutely hit the
mhm.
spot. I mean, even if you're sober, it can still hit the spot. I know Zane bringing that bitch up again. Zane will sometimes just go to McDonald's
Our
just
spirit is staying.
their spirit
Right.
is here. I feel them. No, so McAllister's is just Lipton tea, everybody. I'm
Mhm.
sorry. I hope I do not get sued for busting that out, but McAllister's is just Lipton tea. But I do prefer McAllister's sweet tea to the sweet tea at McDonald's just because, you know, it tastes stronger. It has that stronger tea flavor that I enjoy. Um
Let
Also,
me, in my defense, let me bring up back for Team McDonald's real quick. Okay.
okay.
Ask my boyfriend. I love anything to be as sweet as it possibly can.
So
So that is why.
So, Cameron,
And then,
okay. I'm
okay,
listening.
no, go ahead. Go.
I would
Go.
look, don't y'all cannot see this, but Cameron is turned to the side with his hands on his hips. This bitch is trying it today. No,
I'm like, okay, exactly. The internet lag, the not being in person, like starting something and then waiting. I'm like, how do these people do it on podcasts and things? And now I'm experiencing it firsthand. I'm like, oh,
now
so there's just
you're
no getting around it.
now you're experiencing the magic behind the scenes of
For
Out in
real.
the Woods. But what I was going to say is, growing up, um, you know, I lived in a Southern family of four, which I know you have more siblings than I do. Don't brag. But
It's not a brag,
I
trust.
but my dad, we always cooked for four and we cooked enough for four people to have seconds and sometimes thirds if they wanted to, which
Mm-hmm.
contributed greatly to my obesity, my mother's former
Same.
obesity, and my dad's diabetes and obesity. What the only other thing that contributed greatly to my dad's diabetes is he would make homemade sweet tea. So he would brew just some normal ass tea and then he would put the sugar in himself when it was nice and hot. And he would put
Mm.
at least, and we had a gallon size tea maker, which if y'all have never had an iced tea maker, don't at me, but like basically there is an iced tea maker. We just never put ice in the pitcher because like why? That's more room for tea and sugar. So literally y'all, like my dad would put at least like 3 cups or 4 cups of sugar in a gallon of his sweet tea. Like sometimes it almost was like syrup. So that's the kind of intense sweet tea that I was raised upon. That's the sweet tea nature versus nurture argument right there. Because my sweet tea nurturing was intense. But here's the thing, y'all. The best sweet tea, in my opinion, goes to Georgia Blue
Mm-hmm.
because it's a giant ass tea bag that's like the size, I don't know, it's like it's a nice size. It's like it's like a beanbag fetus. If the beanbag had a fetus, that's how big it is. It's huge. Um, and it's tea leaves and giant granules of cane sugar, gigantic ass granules of cane
Mm-hmm.
sugar. It's so sweet that it has contributed to the southern half and half tea trend. So if y'all are not from the south, what half and half tea is you will put half unsweet, half sweet in a glass because some people cannot handle how sweet the sweet tea is. So yeah, things that y'all didn't really care about, but now you know. So
Now you
y'all,
know.
all of my listeners out in California, go tell your friends. So Cameron, are you ready to move on to our next segment?
I mean, I'm still Team McDonald's, but yes, let's go.
Um, you can be Team McDonald's all day if that's the hill you want to die on. I won't stop you.
That steep, sugary hill.
That sugary,
So
sugary,
sweet.
that nice brown liquid that tastes of sweet tea.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
they want you, they go the extra mile and put it in like a tea dispenser to make you feel like you're really, really getting some sweet tea. And look, Zane, ask Bryn if they actually brew real tea or if it is tea substitute. Moving on. Um, I decided that this time we would do a little BuzzFeed quiz because whatever, here we are. So I sent you the link. Will you
You
open that
did?
link? I did.
I will.
Okay. And audience, the title of this BuzzFeed quiz is "This is an accurate personality test dash take it." It's bare bones for more
What?
accurate results. So I don't know what it's going to tell me. I did not take this beforehand, but
Same.
we're going to go through it right now.
Let's do it.
So, let's do it. You can take all of these items with you to help you survive on a desert island, but one. Which do you leave behind? A sun hat, a knife, a fire starter, a cooking pan, a spear, or a lantern? Um, you know what? I think I'm gonna leave a lantern behind. Only because I have a fire starter kit and all the light I'm really going to need. I'm going to want to stay central. I don't want to do my exploring at night on this desert island. I'm going to do my exploring during the day so I don't have to worry about about light. So, and the sun hat is to
Right, right.
protect. People will think that the sun hat is useless, but if you're going to be exposed to the sun all day, you'll at least want something to protect you from its cancerous rays. So,
Cancerous rays, for sure.
cancerous rays. Yes. What was your answer?
Well, kind of the same vein, but also the opposite. All these I feel like I will need.
Mhm.
It's the sun hat though that I feel like is the least likely that I would be able to, well, or is the easiest that I could make on the island once I'm there.
You
If
know
that
what?
makes sense.
Yes, yes, that does make sense. That
So
does make sense.
so 86 the sun hat because I'm gonna make a cute one when I get there with the palm leaves.
You're gonna live your
Mm-hmm.
full Animal Crossing fantasy and make a palm leaf sun
Mm-hmm.
hat. Yes. Okay,
For
Cameron,
sure.
here we go. Next question. How do you confront conflict? You approach it with enthusiasm to keep the mood positive. You lay out the problem and multiple options for solutions with a clear path forward. You rehearse how you will approach the conflict for a few days so that you come off as concisely as possible. You brainstorm with others for ways to end said conflict. You bring a fair share of empathy to the conflict to try to see both sides. You react the way you feel others would best take it in order to try to get your point across. Ooh.
Oh wow.
Um,
All right.
I know, coming for us real
Eep.
hard.
The real answer is I just go hide and not deal with anything. That's the real answer. So let's see which one comes close to that.
My real answer is, I look at someone like, are we having conflict right now? Cocks head to the side, squints eyes. I
Your
would
Aries rising is like, let's fight.
Right. I was going to say, I think that my honest answer would be you rehearse how you will approach the conflict for a few days so that you come off as concisely as possible. Just because if I give it a few days, I can really think I could actually do any of the other options if I give myself time to think it over. So
Sure.
that's probably what I'm going to go with.
I think I'm on that one with you as well. That one sounds like the most accurate compared to what the other ones are saying. So yeah, let's go with that one.
All right. Which kind of person would you enjoy having by your side? You can't answer this question because you already have one. But I'm a
Oh,
single
I have
girl.
all of it I need. I just say, can I just say, people were like sending me videos of stuff for Valentine's Day. Like, look at all the shenanigans I'm doing, and I'm single. And I was like, honestly, I'm in a relationship, and I still think Valentine's Day is kind of overrated and marketing for capitalism. So,
Ugh, capitalism is so ghetto. So 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 which kind of person would you enjoy having by your side? Someone who is brave, someone who is loyal, someone who is funny, someone who is respectful, someone who is ambitious, or someone who is honest. The thing is, what I hate about these quizzes is that they treat all of these things like they are mutually exclusive. So it's
mhm,
really hard because I want someone who is actually all of these things
right.
in one. I wish that there was an all of the above option. Um, but you know,
I think I don't know. The two that are standing out are loyal and honest. Because
yes.
I don't necessarily need you to be that brave or that funny, because I'm pretty funny, I think.
I was gonna
But
say I can be funny enough for the both of us here.
right,
Um, if they're loyal, hopefully they're gonna be respectful, because if they're disrespectful, I don't want their loyalty.
right.
Real Housewives of Mississippi here. Ambition, I mean, I do want someone who has, goals. I
Hmm.
do. I don't want someone who just wants to settle for whatever they've got. I want someone with goals. And honesty, I feel like honesty and loyalty go hand in hand. I don't
Right.
know, but that's just my opinion. So I'll go with loyal. I'll go with loyal
Team
here.
loyal. I love how we're probably gonna have the exact. Well, no, the first one we didn't answer the same. So
I was gonna say, if you accidentally bought 5 pounds, what? If you accidentally bought 5 pounds of potatoes instead of just 5 potatoes, what would you do? Ooh, okay, let's see.
I don't even need these options.
Right, like, honey,
I got plenty of ideas.
you're asking the right ones. Use a lot of potatoes to make potato stamps. What are potato stamps?
I don't know, but I've smashed them and
Hold
like
on a
fried them
second.
in the oven.
Hold on a
Okay.
second. I'm sorry, I'm Google image searching potato stamps. Potato stamps. What are they? What is this? Oh my God, Cameron, y'all,
Jacob,
potato stamps. You don't eat them. You literally use a potato, you carve out a
make
shape
stamps.
to make stamps.
Oh wow.
No, that's
That's
not what I'm doing.
interesting.
That's not what I'm
That sounds
doing.
like some first or second grade crafting kind of stuff.
Yes, I don't use stamps enough to waste what I could be putting in my body for fuel. Absolutely not.
I need them carbs, honey.
Shame on you. Yes, exactly. I need those fibrous carbs. Um,
Fibrous.
fibrous. Try to make every potato dish ever.
That one. That one.
Yes. Read up on the best way to preserve potatoes. Oh, okay.
Nah.
Um, make the world's largest vat of mashed potatoes. Okay. Do some serious meal prepping. Or donate the leftover
No.
potatoes. Mm.
See, they're trying to guilt you into picking the last one because if you don't pick the last one, you sound like you wouldn't donate them regardless. You know what
I
I mean?
know, but like, you're supposed to, but here's the thing, BuzzFeed, what you didn't know was that this bitch right here knows you should not donate perishable items. And once I have
Mm.
cooked these potatoes, or even if I haven't cooked these potatoes, they are very perishable. I'm
What you
not going to
did not
donate.
know, BuzzFeed.
What you did not know, BuzzFeed, what you now know. So we're gonna do some serious meal prepping. That's my final
Yep.
answer. Boom.
Meal prepping, cool. I'm gonna try to make every potato dish because
Can I come over to have some of those potato dishes?
sure, I'll
Oh,
probably get the other one to make them because I can't cook that well.
oh, well, there you go. Um, I could tell that about you just by looking at your beard. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, thanks. I can make a mean peach cobbler though. Don't try it.
Don't come for her peach
Mm-hmm.
cobbler, unless you've got a
Mm-mm.
spoon.
Can I just say, I feel like BuzzFeed is really coming for me right now. How do you
Well,
handle conflict? How do you tackle heavy to-do lists? Why are you coming for me right now,
this
BuzzFeed?
article was create this quiz was created January 1st of this year. So this is all during a
Mm.
pandemic. So they're asked, we spent a year in isolation. This is what happens when you spend a year in isolation. You're like, your personality is based off of potatoes, which are a luxury that you can only get if you venture out to potentially contract coronavirus at the Walmart.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you Walmart pick up 5 pounds of potatoes accidentally. Okay, you're on the phone with a mean customer service representative. Oh, so we're turning it around. We're turning it around on customer service people. Okay, this person's a hater, first and foremost, whoever wrote this quiz. But anyway, you're on the phone with a mean customer service representative who won't honor a coupon you're eligible for. Oh my God, did a Karen write this? What do you do?
Mm.
Ask for a manager. Oh my God. Empathize with them to see if you can level the playing field. Sweet talk the phone representative. Ask what you can do to make your order eligible for the coupon. Read the fine print back to the customer service person and ask what the issue is, or give up. Who cares? Okay. We have a couple of reasonable options here that would not make you much of a Karen in this scenario. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Cameron, what are you feeling? What are you feeling for this?
Okay. Let me be real frank. I don't want to be preachy, but like, okay, I look at a coupon as a privilege, right? So if I could not afford that item without said coupon, I'm probably not going to go to the store with the coupon. But anyway, that's just okay.
But you're on the
So
phone. You're on
honestly,
the phone now. You're not at the store.
oh, on a
You're
phone,
on
that's
the phone
true.
with a customer service representative.
Hmm. Honestly, if I'm going to go through I'm too anxious to talk to people on the phone. So if I'm going to go through all that trouble to be on someone with the phone, I should be able to afford the item. But I honestly, me being me, I would be give up. Who cares? I'd be like, well, can I still afford the item? But that's me. But like, it depends on the item. Honestly, it depends on how much effort I want to put into it. The conflict. Let's go back to the conflict question. Basically,
That
that's
is
where I'm at.
that is weak, but okay.
Okay, okay. I'm sorry. I just feel like I'm blessed all the time. So if I need a coupon to get something, I
Cameron
probably don't
is
need that
so
item.
bothered. I just struck the sacred chord with
How
Cameron,
dare you call me weak?
and now Cameron is enraged. I
In
would honestly, my answer to that are, by the way, are you clicking your answers on the quiz?
Let me tell you, okay, I wasn't gonna say this, but the first six of them I forgot to, and then I went back and clicked them. But now I'm back
Okay.
on board. Yes.
Okay, we're back on track. Okay, cool. Okay. My answer is read the fine print back to the customer service person and ask what the issue is, because you know what? The devil is in the details, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
If you really want it, if you really feel that strongly about it, read the fine print, and if that doesn't work, then you should just give up at that point, because if they're not going to honor the fine print, they honestly have just had someone who is pissed in their Cheerios, and it is not worth you do not need the item that badly to go all out. I mean, unless it's insulin, which is like, okay, yeah, please pursue every pursue every option to get your coupon honored on your insulin, please. Please.
I I love how you were team read the fine print and then your team weak. But I already assumed that the person
You
knew the fine print
you
that they were
bellied
selling me.
under. You literally just flopped over like a dead fish at the first sign of conflict. Ooh, you're not going to be my sweet tea apprentice for very long. I
No,
can
I'm taking
already see
over.
another. I can already see another.
The way
Okay.
the Sith work is the apprentice kills the master and takes over. So
Yeah, but
you tell me what's gonna happen.
I'm Darth Sidious. Okay, I'm the puppet master here. Okay, this is not.
Old and never dies. Okay.
I don't introduce the podcast with this is your friendly neighborhood host Cameron Petrie. So
No, you
enough,
make me do it.
enough of your insolence. Which activity do you feel you'd be best suited for? Summer camp counselor,
Mm.
genealogist, professional axe thrower, guest lecturer at a university, 3D chalk artist, or tarot card reader. Oh,
Mm. Let's answer this for each other first, and then
okay.
we'll answer.
Okay. So, what do you think?
Let me go first since I brought it up. I think you. I feel like tarot card reader is obvious for either one of us.
Yes.
I feel like we naturally could, either one of us could be doing that.
Yes.
So I feel like, I don't know. I don't know how you feel about kids, but I feel like you would be great with kids as a summer camp counselor. Because you
Mm,
just have, okay, no, okay. I was gonna say
no.
you just have that, you have that energy that, okay, well,
I'm
let's
good at
see.
look, I'm a customer service person. I'm good
Mm,
at, keeping people happy. I'm very fun, but like kids, like
mm,
I love some kids and I hate some kids and I don't know, they stress me out too much. So no. Yeah, no.
I hear you. I hear you. Okay. Okay. Well, then what do you say for yourself, Jake?
I'm definitely going with guest lecturer at a university.
Okay. I can see
Um
that. What
that's
would you be
literally
lecturing?
I mean, I literally do. I mean, that's what my podcast kind of is like a a weekly lecture kind of.
Yes, yeah.
Um
Okay.
and then for you, I would say 3D chalk artist.
Yep. I think that's the route we're going these
I was
days.
gonna
Yep.
say, I don't know if my audience knows of your Snapchat, but your Snapchat stories frequently have some good art and drawings that you're doing, and it's very well done stuff.
Thank
Um,
you.
yeah, of course, and of course we're both adept tarot readers, so like
Hmm.
that's a given. Choose the role you'd be most comfortable playing in a big meeting at work. The presenter, the financial advisor, the marketing agent, the conceptual artist, the fact checker, or the note taker. So I already know, Cameron, that you would be the conceptual artist. Am I correct?
Absolutely. Yes, yes, yes,
Okay,
yes.
what do you think I would do?
Um, Based on the fine print comment from the last question from questions past, I would say you would be the fact checker.
Um, either the fact I'm torn between the fact checker and the marketing agent because I do love some good marketing.
Hmm.
So, ooh, I'm gonna go with marketing agent on this one.
Of course you are. That's fine.
Okay, of course I am. Yeah. Oh my God, we're finally at the end. Thank God. Honestly, like this is taking longer than I was expecting. Thanks, BuzzFeed.
Thanks,
Finally,
Cameron.
which sound? No,
Fix my mouth.
no.
Oh.
Oh my God. Finally,
You know, I
which
love to play any moment where I can be the victim.
no, 100%. That's, that Scorpio rising, you're like,
For
I am
sure.
always the victim. Which sounds most appealing on a rainy day? Playing in
Hmm.
puddles,
Nope.
drinking hot tea. Hey, relevant, brought it all the way back to the episode.
But is it McDonald's tea though?
Ooh, die. Reading a book, taking a good nap, snuggling with someone soft or something soft. God, I need a boyfriend or having soup. Okay. Um, I don't read enough, but I would say reading a book. I would love, yeah.
Right. I feel like that's the answer. That's the answer that it should be. I feel like I need to read more books. I just got the entire book series of Witcher books, so I need to read those.
Ooh.
But anywho, yeah, I want to say reading a book. I feel like that's the answer I need to answer with, but I'm not a big napper. Hmm. Actually, yeah, let's go with reading a book.
Okay, so here we go. Here we go. So, Cameron, you go first. What did you get? What was your personality?
My personality, the creative tinkerer.
Ooh.
You're a natural dreamer. You get trapped inside your head. First of all, they've already got me pegged. You get trapped inside your head a lot because it's far more fascinating than the real world. Wow. You enjoy learning and broadening your horizon. Your optimism paired with your thirst for knowledge also makes you an incredible teacher. Your creativity shines through with every task you accomplish and every problem you solve. Hmm.
Do you feel like that is accurate?
They had me at trapped inside my head.
Correct, correct. I would say that's pretty accurate for you. But that's also kind of like a good Aquarius, that's definitely
Mm,
kind of that appeals to your Aquarius traits as well, the creative side.
hmm.
So yeah, I actually did get a different answer. I'm really
What
glad
did
because
you get, Jacob?
I got, and y'all, I love these names that I came up with. I got the Enigma Destroyer. I am an Enigma Destroyer. Bring me your
Enigma.
enigma. Um,
I will destroy it.
your mind goes a million miles a minute, and you're always brimming with earth-shattering ideas. As a quick thinker, a quick talker, and a person with sharp reasoning skills, you are the first to solve a problem, and you enjoy the challenge. You like to lead, innovate, and improvise. Um,
Hmm.
you know what? Audience, you probably don't actually think this about me based on listening to my podcast, but like I'm a self-deprecator, so whenever I see this, I don't know how to take compliments, and I don't know how to take like good things being said about me. So whenever I see this, I'm like, that's probably not true. I'm probably very dumb. Um,
Well, when I heard it, I was thinking of all your Capricorn traits,
ooh,
but
true.
definitely that Scorpioness is like, ooh, I don't know, I don't trust
I
you.
don't deserve it, imposter. I don't know. I like the idea that I might have earth-shattering ideas somewhere inside of me. Um,
Hello, out in the woods, right here, right now. It's been
oh,
manifested. Hello.
oh my God. Well, on that beautiful compliment, we're going to take a break so that all of you and I myself can also ruminate on the fact that I do have earth-shattering ideas and that Cameron's creative or something. And we're back. With Cameron Petrie on Southern Sweet Tea Season 2. Beep, 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 beep. Okay, we did the same thing. Great, great. We are of the same mind. There may be hope for you
One
yet,
mind.
Cameron. Um,
Sweet.
so, um, like we've already been talking about, the spirit of Zane still lives on in this episode. Um, and actually, Cameron, spoiler alert, I actually contacted Zane and said, well, since you can't be there, I just want to know what is a topic that you would like for me and Cameron to discuss? And they said, I don't know really. And then I said, I'm giving you time to think about it because I know you just woke up. So, I'm giving you time. And then a little bit later, they responded, where have you found relatable queerness in non-queer media?
hmm When I saw this, that's a very good question. First of all, also, first of all, let me just say, Black culture has its is the foundational influence to almost anything queer, anything honestly that is mainstream these days. You can pretty much find its roots in Black
Correct.
culture,
Yes.
music, art, fashion, yada yada yada. So let me just put that out there. Black Lives Matter, yada yada yada. Okay, but my official answer for this, because I was thinking about it, is anime.
Okay.
And because I've been watching some anime, this is just because this is what I've been doing recently. I just finished Dragon Ball Z, got through it, and I found that there were moments where characters would interact with each other, and you could almost hint uh, at the homoeroticism in
Mm.
places, or at the very least, for example, probably can't use the character's name for covering. But there's two characters
You
like
can. You can
okay,
use their
okay,
name.
well then
Yeah.
okay. Well, there's Dende and Gohan when they're young.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember the exact plot right now because I kind of literally just breezed through Dragon Ball Z. But there's at one point where like Dende has to either leave or something, and he holds Gohan's hands, and they really have this like touching moment. And when I'm watching that, I'm thinking, wow, this has a little bit of an undertone that was kind of ahead of its time if the undertones were supposed to be there, or whatever. So honestly, that's my answer. I wish I had a more like profound answer to Zane's beautiful question.
Honey,
But
you're totally fine because I don't either. My my answer to this is the new Star Wars trilogy. Love it or hate it. I hate
mm,
it.
mhm.
Definitely Poe Dameron and Finn should have
Exactly.
gotten together at the end. They should not have wasted their time on that little lesbian kiss at the very end of the movie that was 2 seconds long.
That seemed
Poe,
like tokenism to me, but anyway.
correct. But Poe and Finn just had such just and the thing is, some people are like, well, it should be lauded because you can have that kind of close relationship with your friend and not be romantically attracted to them. While that is true,
Sure.
it's the 2010s now, bitch. We have not had openly queer, openly in love characters in Star Wars yet, and Poe and Finn are clearly in love. Oh my God, it's like they are 100% in love. And anyway, yeah, I shipped Poe and Finn. I have no shame about it. Whatever.
It's fine.
Um, so yes, Zane, there we go. That's your answer. Um, so instead of going, I'm gonna leave this question for later on. Because we're already talking about Star Wars here. Let's just get right into my next topic, which is and this, I literally wrote it down like this. Let's talk about that bitch, Gina Carano. Um, so for those of you that don't know, Gina Carano played Cara Dune in The Mandalorian, the insanely popular Star Wars TV series on Disney Plus. And Gina Carano has been very outspokenly conservative, which, there really is nothing wrong with being conservative. However, she's also
Mm.
been very vocally anti-mask during the raging pandemic. And most recently, what got her fired from her job as Cara Dune on The Mandalorian was she retweeted a a meme, I would say, a quote on a picture of people in the Holocaust, basically comparing the treatment of conservatives in America right now to the treatment of Jews in
Mhm.
the Holocaust. Um, so, of course, a lot of people are saying, oh my God, cancel culture strikes again. But like, the thing is, actually, Cameron, let's talk about it. Cameron, I want to let's go.
Oh, I was right. I was listening. I was right on board. Yeah, the cancel culture. It's like it. Okay, if it's cancel culture, she's the one that is canceling herself, and
Hmm.
we have embodied a culture where people can think they can compare their political views to the lives of those who went through the Holocaust. That's
Yes.
the culture we live in, and that's why he needs to be canceled.
Correct. Correct. I was just gonna say, there are there is a not a problem, quote unquote. Cancel culture, toxic cancel culture does exist
Mm-hmm.
in its own unique way. Um, but it is not it is not what the right would have you believe that it is, if that makes sense. So like there are obvious once again, there is obvious toxicity in within cancel culture. Um, because I guess, some people can, Twitter can attempt to quote unquote assassinate or cancel somebody's character over something that could be clearly a misunderstanding. and
Mm,
and the toxic part about cancel culture is that even a simple misunderstanding can still spiral out of control because people will latch on, people will do mental gymnastics to figure out why this person is still a villain. It
mm,
becomes hard for people to, undo the kind of damage that can be done whenever, someone decides to get canceled. If you use the memory and the experience of any of the victims of the Holocaust, because it wasn't just the 6 million Jews. There were Black people, mentally disabled people, LGBT people, all of the victims of the Holocaust. If you use their names in vain and their memory in vain, you absolutely deserve to have your ass ruined. Um, Full stop.
hmm My thing is, especially when it comes to the Holocaust, um, if you go to Germany, right,
Hmm.
anyone you talk to, they don't, first of all, they don't talk about it
Hmm.
out of respect for it.
Yes.
Either side that your lineage was probably on,
Hmm.
out of respect for it. And Germany has at least put in some work to rectify
Yes.
the impact. So if you see where I'm going with this, there is plenty that America needs to rectify and work on. I'm talking about slavery, things of this nature that
Yes.
we have yet to own and then therefore rectify. And what is the word? Reparations,
Yes.
repair.
Yes.
So specifically using the topic of the Holocaust, genocide, specifically using that, not only is it tone deaf, but yes, it is very detrimental and very impactful. And that is why she's being quote unquote canceled. But then you also have to realize this isn't just one little mistake she made retweeting something. From what I
Yes.
understand, she's been saying things for a long time that could be controversial and could get someone fired. But
Yes.
this is also the thing I've been thinking about here in this good country that we live in. People put so much value into a title or into their job. People are like, she's losing her job over something like this. Yeah, well, y'all like the structure we have for these jobs. Her boss did not think that was good for their company, so they fired her.
Yes. I mean,
Point blank
point,
simple.
point blank, period. All of these people out here screaming capitalism, screaming, the system we have works. I mean, you understand. I mean, and Jen Diaz, thank you for sending us this article in the little group text that we have. But, Gina Carano, they did not fire her during the pandemic for being vocally anti-mask, which is very detrimental, to society in general during a time like this. Um, but that's because being anti-mask doesn't necessarily cross a cultural societal line, like comparing yourself to Holocaust victims. So therefore, Disney, as the article that you sent me, Jen, says, Disney fired Gina Carano because Gina Carano was bad for business. And
Mm-hmm.
that is the crux of capital. That is the crux of capital. If you are bad for business, time
That's
for
the
you to
thing.
go.
Like if a business is quote unquote leaning right, if you do something to cause them to have bad business, you're getting fired. It's the same for a company like Disney, who we all know leans a little more left. If you do something that's gonna mess with their business, you're getting fired. At the same time,
Let's
you're comparing yourself to the Holocaust victims, so
let's well
you're
well
gonna get
Cameron,
fired.
let's not have any illusions about Disney. Disney does not lean one way or another. Disney leans towards the money. They do not give
Right.
one, two, or three shits about any kind of social whatever you want to have it.
I hear you. No, I hear
They
you. I hear you.
follow the dollar signs. And it just so
Right.
happens that right now, I mean, once again,
Mm.
we all know about Walt Disney.
Oh
Uh,
yes,
if Walt Disney were alive, he'd be like, "That girl deserves a raise."
you're absolutely right.
Yeah, no, like, no, she was bad for business, and she got exactly what she deserved. And all these people once again out here screaming, "But she got fired because of an opinion." I mean, I don't agree with all these lefties in Hollywood, but I'll still watch, I don't know, John Wick. I don't know.
But you'll
Um,
still do everything you can to keep us from having, rights and things. But anyway,
Correct.
continue.
So anyway, but I let's digress from this point. I think we've spilled all the tea we can on that. Um, but yeah. Oh, okay. So my next topic. So I'm sure you were wondering, Cameron, why I was like, let's talk about trans athletes. Uh, the reason is I've noticed this weird trend on social media, specifically Facebook. Audience, I just want you to know you are the only reason that I am still on Facebook because I need to promote this podcast. So I got drudged back in to help promote the podcast, and I don't have the difference is though I don't have push notifications turned on for Facebook, so I don't have to have notification anxiety for Facebook. So that's good.
Mm.
That's a little different. But yeah, I've noticed this trend on Facebook since Trump left office. That now the big right-wing thing, now that they've just kind of lost, and Q was wrong, and Joe Biden is actually the president. Now a lot of right-leaning people have moved to bashing trans athletes. Um, Specifically, okay, and here's the thing, there's a little bit of chauvinism here because it is specifically trans men, or I'm sorry, trans women competing in women's sports.
Mm.
Um, so audience, I, if you're not keeping up, men who transitioned into biological men who transitioned into women competing in women's sports. Um,
Hmm.
so let's discuss this because I have many thoughts about this. Um,
Hmm.
First of all, I see a lot of people taking insult to trans women wanting to compete in, the women's circuit in sports. But like, first of all, the system is already set up to where there is only a binary. There's no other category with which they could play in. Um, but people keep talking about like uh, specifically one of the people. Oh my god, I'm that was a disgusting burp. Specifically, um one of the people on my Facebook said it's not fair for someone who has biological advantages to compete in the same category as people who are not as biologically advantaged. So, first of all, I think that it's a little insulting to say to just assume that because there are quote unquote biological differences between men and women that women cannot beat men in competitive
Hmm.
sports. I think
Right.
that's I think that's I think that is a little insulting because I think like there have been many instances of that exact thing happening. Um
Hmm.
I also y'all, and here's the thing, send me an email at ontwpodcast@gmail.com explaining all the reasons that I'm wrong whenever I say this. But like I think people just assume that there's a women's league and a men's league because men are quote unquote stronger and more
Hmm.
athletically capable than men. I think people just assume that though. Like I don't feel like people are actually looking at the science behind it. I think people are just assuming like, "Oh, well that's why they did it," not because like we lived in a society where women could not vote. Whenever they started doing women's leagues and men's leagues, I mean,
Hmm.
I I don't know. I that bothers me. I think whenever people are like, "Well, just make a trans league," I think that's just a little that's not really solving the problem. You're just kind of being like, we'll just give them their, that's, it's kind of like whenever they set up the Negro leagues in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Because I also remember, and Cameron, this is some hot tea. Um, I had an uncle, God rest his ignorant soul, um, who once told me that black people had an extra joint in their knee that made them run faster than white people. Um, when I was a child. So, like, I think that this is the exact, I feel like this is a very similar case of like scientific exclusionary practices. You know, once again, making a trans league in sports just really just, it just makes me think of the Negro leagues. You know, it just,
Mm-hmm.
it's like people are going to make up any excuse they can to keep these people separate, even though there's absolutely no reason to.
Mm.
Um, and the biggest thing that bothers me about this, because honestly, it's sports. Y'all know out there, out in the woods listeners, I do not give a shit about sports. I could care less. But a lot of people do care about sports. So that's fine. Let them have their sports. It's just whenever we are coming hot off the heels of the administration that we've just gotten rid of, it just, to me, whenever you start taking pot shots at trans athletes, it almost feels like the next, it's like the logical, like I guess the train that we're on is like, okay, it starts with us saying, okay, well, we need to protect biological women from being bested by trans women in sports. And then it moves on to discriminatory laws, and discriminatory practices outside of the realm of sports, because now
Mm.
trans people are being marked as, you know, threatening to cis people in some way, shape, or form, you know?
Mm.
It's already happened in Mississippi. I think they just passed that bill where only biological uh, men and women can compete on their individual circuits.
I come from more of a just a progressive mindset where I'm kind of where you're at. Like, we need to be past men and women's leagues anyway. We just need to have leagues, and we just need to let human beings compete, because that's what it is. It's a competitive sport. So I get why people think that it's, like a disadvantage. I get where you think that, but what I'm thinking is, well, then compete to win. You know what I mean? It sounds so like
Yes.
nonchalant answer, but it's kind of like it sounds like victimhood to the, for people who have nothing to
Yes.
feel they're victimized for a
Yes.
reason. It's like, okay, I get where you think it might not be fair, but life's not fair. It sounds,
I
I,
well, I mean,
I don't
even
know.
even past that, like there are people that train their whole lives, and I totally understand that. But like once again, nobody is bringing up whenever someone born female transitions to male and wants to compete with the men. Nobody's like, we need to protect them
Hmm.
from getting their ass whooped. Like,
Right, because they don't think that's going
like
to happen
right,
because the
like
person was biologically born yeah.
right. So like I it just it boggles my brain. I mean, really and truly, the mental gymnastics that these bitches have to jump through. And I'm sorry, y'all out there. I don't care what Joe Rogan tells you. I know that he knows about MMA, but look, no, there have been plenty of cases of biological females beating biological males at their own game. um Literally, it's not out of the realm of possibility. If you are going, I mean, if the point of sports is to train to be the best that you can to overcome anything standing in your way, then why is that just, like you said, Cameron, why is that not something that, you know once again, saying biological advantages, just it sounds, I don't know. Once again, send me an email to correct me. Absolutely. But
Not me.
if I go to Aunt Google and I look up everything that you're telling me and I find something wrong with it, you just better be prepared to hear about yourself in the next Sweet Tea episode. So yeah. That's it on trans athletes. I support all of my trans brothers, sisters, and non-B folks as well. Y'all are the most oppressed in our community right now, and uh, we are here for you. Um, last topic of discussion. For those of you that do not follow Out in the Woods on Facebook, I promote my posts a lot on there. And sometimes I will pay to promote them just so I can maybe get, a little bit more of listenership, more ears on my work, stuff like that for people that wouldn't necessarily see it or aren't following my page. And sometimes you think you have the net so perfect,
Hmm.
uh, but you don't. And with that comes some bigots. So I want y'all to know specifically that I paid Mark Zuckerberg my hard-earned money so that I could specifically target LGBT people and their
Hmm.
allies with my latest advertisement on Facebook. Because I have done it before where I've just not put filters on it and it blew up with a bunch of bigots. Now, that was also a Black queer odyssey with Lucy Wells. So it was a
Mm.
double hitter, y'all. We had people
Right.
coming out the woodwork that were homophobes. We had people coming out of the woodwork that were racist. I mean,
Hmm.
we just had all of these random ass strangers that were shitting their pants over the Facebook algorithm. But this time, I advertised last week's episode, Music to My Queers with Alex Bryant. Um, and this time I only had two comments and one hateful share. Thank God. But after seeing, I've decided now that every time something like this happens, I'm going to put it on my personal Facebook page for all of my friends to see the bullshittery. Uh,
Hmm.
and Cameron, you can attest to this, or rather, I hope that you can confirm. Out in the woods, I gave them some good Wendy's clapbacks, did I not?
You really did.
I
You were
did.
like, I'm so sorry that this happened to you. I meant to target this, but I'm so sorry that you've been outed. Well, my thing is like people get so bigoted people, homophobic people, whatever they're against, when they see
Yes.
something that is just even like literally just promoting a queer artist's music, like have
Yes.
lose their minds as if they are being sent straight to hell just by seeing an advertisement of a queer artist being promoted on a podcast. It blows my
Yes.
mind. People get
Yeah.
crazy, people get violent, people get aggressive, and it is like, you just need to calm down, honey. My general statement for all this nonsense is if people would just calm down and focus on themselves rather than focusing all their angst and all their energy and all their attention on getting everyone else in check. You know what I mean? It's the same
Yes.
with the athletes. The same. If you would just focus on getting yourself in check, boo, you'd be all right. Like, like they really, like people get so like, you should do things my way, and you should do this, and this is the love of Jesus. This is the love of God. And all this angst and violence and aggression for no reason other than you have seen a post on a social platform that is promoting a queer artist. I don't care if you don't support queer people. Well, I do care if you support people, but you know what I mean? Like, you don't
Yes.
got to say nothing, boo. Keep scrolling. It is literally less effort and less energy to just keep scrolling and go about your very day and keep yourself in check than for you to have to do all this nonsense to literally, quote unquote, shit on someone else.
Right. I
It's
mean,
so stupid.
Facebook literally offers them the option to see less posts like this. You literally just, but I mean,
Mm-hmm.
of course, they're probably both boomers. So they don't know how to operate a bidet, much less an iPhone.
You
Um,
think they're clever because they use a meme with a dog, a
right,
nipple,
right. He had that in the chamber waiting for
waiting.
the day that they, but that's the thing. The reason, and honestly, y'all, it might not be the thing is the Facebook algorithm works in such a way that, mostly I was trolling them about them being secretly gay, because that could still be the case. However, mostly what it could be is if they do the exact same thing on every gay or LGBT centric post that they see on Facebook, that tells the algorithm that they want to see more LGBT stuff because the algorithm doesn't see what they're commenting. It just sees that they are commenting stuff they are interacting
Exactly.
with LGBTQ centric
Hmm.
Facebook posts. So automatically the algorithm assumes, okay, they respond more to this, they want to see more of this.
So
Um,
literally, their problems would be solved if they just kept scrolling and shut it up
and kept that goddamn mouth shut. Exactly.
and kept their stupid memes that they had to go Google for to themselves and
Exactly.
just move on.
Right.
I
And
don't get it.
also, like, one of them was like, well, if you paid for this to blah, 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 you wasted your money. But the thing is, like, I didn't waste my money because this
And
is
that's the thing. That's the capitalistic society that we live in. People are so tied to their jobs, tied to their money. Ha! You wasted your money, honey. My money ain't going for you. Calm
right.
down.
Right. First of all, you are literally just providing me with free entertainment and
Hmm.
you're
More
getting
free advertising.
more free advertising. Literally, people people on my Facebook already know about the podcast. So like they don't
Hmm.
really interact with the posts that much. But literally anytime that I because there was that time before whenever I posted the hate speech that was going down on that other post. It gets people's attention. It gets people intrigued and engaged. So, thank you for all the extra listeners you're getting me by literally being a stupid bitch.
We love some good drama.
We love some good
You
drama.
you know the gays love some good drama.
I was gonna say, and honestly, like probably like Friday, whenever I release this episode, if you want, guys, I will put the screenshots of all of that on my Instagram because there are so many more of you on my Instagram than there are on my Facebook.
Cancel them.
Join the
Cancel.
gram. Um,
Join the gram.
join the gram. Well, Cameron, I believe that wraps up all of the stuff that I wanted to talk about. Is there any more tea we need to spill, or are we all out? Are we all out of tea?
I just have to say free Britney and be kind to everyone. As cheesy as that sounds, like chill out, please. That's the
Chill the
tea.
fuck out. That's the
Chill
tea
out. That is really
from
the tea.
from my young apprentice.
You know what the hot tea is? Jacob's a liar.
Oh my God. Y'all really cannot trust this host of Out in the
Mm-mm.
Woods. You cannot. You cannot.
Mm-mm.
Um,
No.
well, Cameron, thank you so much for being my co-host. Um, I am always so glad to have you on here. And on a very real note,
It's
I'm always glad to pick your brain.
Thank you, buddy. It's been a pleasure. I'm glad I can step in for Zane. It's been really fun. Thanks for having me.